Now, I don't care about geek cred, but when I see people spouting nonsense that they clearly have no clue about because of some ridiculous ideological bent, I have to step in and correct these falsehoods, and nowhere do I see these falsehoods more often than the regressive left. These people haven't got the slightest idea what they're talking about, but that doesn't stop them from standing in front of a camera, festooned in their geeky t-shirts and props, saying things that no one with the slightest clue would ever say. So here we go again with a ridiculous feminist calling out Scarlett Johansson for her acting choices.
Dear Scarlett Johansson, what are you doing?
At the moment, I don't know. She could be eating breakfast, she could be taking a dump, she could be making a movie. At least she's probably being productive. What the hell are you doing?
When we first heard the Ghost in the Shell movie was being made and that you had been cast in the lead role as a Japanese woman named Kusanagi, we were a bit upset.
Who is we? Feminist shittards? Well, of course you're upset. That's kind of your defining characteristic, being pissed off at everything. If you weren't upset, you wouldn't know what the hell to do with yourselves.
I was just willing to hope that the movie would just never get made, get stuck in production forever, and we'd all forget about it. But unfortunately, it looks like this is actually happening.
So because you have a beef with the casting, that's a good reason for hundreds of people not to have jobs and millions of dollars not to enter the economy, just because your feelings are hurt. First world problems much?
So I just wanted to ask you, white woman to white woman, what are you doing?
Her job? Making a movie? That thing she does for a living? What the hell are you doing? Whining on the internet?
Are you in some sort of financial distress? Is Marvel not paying you enough? I'm confused.
Well, we know that, but no, I'm sure Marvel pays her plenty, considering her reported net worth is more than $80 million. But she acts. That's what she does. Why are you so concerned?
Wait, are you doing this against your will? Did someone hold a gun to your head and make you sign on to this film? If that's the case, please let us know. We want to help you.
No, I'm sure she's doing it because she likes the script and wants to be involved. And apparently, she isn't as idiotic as you feminist whiners who can only see things in terms of race and gender.
Because otherwise, I can't fathom the reason that you wouldn't say, you know what? This is not a movie I should be starring in. I'm pretty sure you're not stupid.
Unlike you, who clearly is stupid because you're ranting on the internet about something that doesn't concern you, and if you had the slightest understanding of reality, you wouldn't be standing there making a fool of yourself. But we know that's not the case, and even though you could easily find out the truth gets in the way of your regressive narrative, and you can't have that, can you?
I would at least like to assume that you are not a dumb individual. So I feel like I shouldn't have to explain to you why racial representation matters in media. But honestly, I just really need to know, why did you agree to this role when clearly this should have been cast as someone who is, Asian?
Have you ever actually seen Ghost in the Shell? No, not the movie that's just being made, but the original source material. Have you ever seen anime of any kind ever? Because if you had, you'd know you're just talking out of your crusty feminist asshole. So here we go. This is Motoko Kusanagi, the female protagonist of Ghost in the Shell. Does she look Asian? No, she doesn't. But if you want to go even further down the rabbit hole, Motoko Kusanagi isn't even her real name. If you go back to the Ghost in the Shell second gig episode, Kusanagi's Labyrinth, you find out that as a young child, she was involved in an accident and there were only 2 survivors, the other one being Hideo Kuze, who went on to become a member of Individual 11. Motoko spent a long time in a coma, following which her consciousness was transferred into a cybernetic body, and she was given the name Motoko Kusanagi. She has no idea what her real name is or anything about her past, so you can't say she was Japanese at all. In fact, in her cybernetic form, she isn't even really human. So, you'd know that if you had the slightest idea about the series, or the character, or anything else. Instead, you just see the name, a name that's not even hers, and get all pissy because some Asian actor isn't playing the role. You, bitch, are a racist. In fact, if you look at the vast majority of anime characters, very few of them have any distinct Asian characteristics. I don't want to say that they're specifically supposed to be white because they're not. But the fact of the matter is that the father of Japanese animation, Osamu Tezuka, got his inspiration from early Disney animation of the 30s, 40s, and 50s, and this style has just carried on for decades in anime and manga in Japan. These are not intended to be white characters. They simply appear that way to people outside of Japan due to their Disney-esque roots. To the Japanese, these characters are Japanese. To the non-Japanese, they're not. But in all cases, it really doesn't matter. These are characters in animated films and TV series, and they don't even have races.
Now, this is not to take away the blame off of anyone else involved in making this film. Many people were involved in getting this film made.
Yeah, like people who've actually seen the various series and movies and actually have a clue what they're talking about. Let's blame them!
But you, Scarlett, as the star of the film, simply could have turned this role down. You could have chosen not to be the face of whitewashing. You could have made a stand, you could have said something, you could have made this an issue. But not only did you not make it an issue, you are now happily going along with being in a film where the main character should have been a Japanese woman, and instead, it's you.
Yeah, because Hollywood exists to make money, and Scarlett Johansson has name recognition and brings in audiences just because she's well known. That's why a lot of actors get cast in movies. They fill seats. She's absolutely going to help this movie do that, and she'll put more butts in seats with her presence than she will keep them away because of her ethnicity. But of course you're the only one who gives a shit about her ethnicity, because you're a fucking racist.
Yeah, the movie probably was gonna get made with or without you. And yes, it probably was gonna get whitewashed with or without you.
But there is no whitewashing going on, as I've said. Now, that's not to say there isn't whitewashing that happens in Hollywood. There certainly is, and you can look at garbage like M. Night Shyamalan's The Last Airbender for examples of that. But again, you're just being clueless and reactionary, therefore you get online and make yourself look like an idiot. Typical progressive moron.
But you chose to be in this. This is a conscious choice that you have made with your life.
And you think that's somehow your business. It isn't your concern which roles she chooses to take and which ones she chooses to reject. You're just an entitled feminist bitch on the internet who thinks you matter. And you're wrong.
And I guess I'm just disappointed in you, just as a person.
And I'm sure that would bother her all the way to the bank if she had any inkling that you existed at all, which she doesn't.
I don't know you. I will probably never know you or meet you. I think you're a great actress. I think you're very beautiful. But come on.
Come on what? You can no more tell her what to do with her life than she can tell you what to do with yours. And if she knew you were alive and cared enough to weigh in on the issue, I'm sure she'd tell you that you're just wasting your life on this ridiculous and vapid ideology that you espouse. But yeah, she's got better things to do with her time, like make millions of dollars making movies. What's your claim to fame?
I mean, the movie's made. I'm not gonna watch it. I'm sure a lot of people will. Or not.
Sure, don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out.
I hope not. So listen, Scarlett, you and all other white actors out there, if you're being offered a role and the name of that character is something like Motoko Kusanagi, maybe turn it down.
Or maybe you could actually read the script and the source material before you make yourself look like an ignorant moron on the internet. Why don't you give that one a shot sometime?
I don't know, say something next time because this shit is ridiculous.
Yeah, but idiots like you keep making these laughable videos.
I wish you all the best, Scarlett. And if you can, go ahead and check out my Patreon page. And as always, please like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And remember, sharing is caring.
Sorry, I don't think Scarlett is going to check out your Patreon page. Why in the world would you expect her to support you in your endeavors when you already said you're not going to support her in hers? Sorry, but this was really stupid. It was painfully stupid, but it wasn't all that surprising. This is pretty much par for the course for the progressive left. They have no clue what it is that they're talking about, and they just don't care. They're hoping that you're running on the same emotional adrenaline that they are, totally uninformed about the subject matter, and desperately trying to feel your way through life. Yet, they're also completely dishonest about things. It doesn't matter if their narrative is true or not, so long as it makes them feel good. It doesn't matter how many times they're corrected on their falsehoods, like the totally discredited gender wage gap, they just continue to spout it. They are, in all the bad ways, identical to the religious fundamentalists who lie to their followers because it makes them money and gives them power and influence over others. The fact that they have to sow bullshit doesn't mean a thing to them. They don't care about truth. They don't care about honesty. Or maybe they're just too stupid to know any better. Is it blatant dishonesty or fundamental ignorance that makes the regressive left go around? I guess that's up to you to decide.